show. So we are going to jump right in, and I believe we're starting with our year recap. Is that right, Ben?
Yeah, well, the people at QZ.com every year put together a list of the 99 best things that happened the year before. And for the last 2 years that we've been doing this show, we've shared it. And I think it's just an awesome list that goes through, just a bunch of great news stories, great scientific developments, great political stories, just kind things that happen. It's kind of everything that this show's about.
Yeah, I think it's good too. Like, sometimes I think there's a subconscious part of our brains that'll just kind of go, oh, that was a nice story. Oh, that was a nice story. And, to get perspective, we really need to take a giant step back. And I think that's what this helps us do. It's like, if you're just sitting there reading, just post after post after post after post, it's like, okay, wait a minute. This isn't just like there's something good every once in a while amidst the crap that these people are digging out. There's like some serious major stuff that's gone on. And this is just the 99 top, So I think it really helps it sink into your brain to just get kind of inundated with this stuff and go, okay, so I don't have to walk around hopeless or scared on a regular basis. There's some really good stuff happening in our world. And that is what this show's about, It's it's not about us sharing some nice little Pollyanna story once a week. It's about, shaping the way people look at the world and bringing hope into that,
Yeah, absolutely. Our second story is actually from a listener. We want to give a shout out to Jane in the UK.
Yes.
Um,
She shares some stories every once in a while. So thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane. And if you have any stories, send them to us. This is from the BBC, Buddy Benches, how buddy benches are making playtime less lonely. What's really cool about this is this company, I mean, these happen all over, but this specific company in the UK, they donate a bench to a school. It says Buddy Bench on it. It has a cool design. And then not only do they drop the furniture off at the school, but they have like a day training where the kids role play and stuff. And the point of the bench is, if you are lonely and you don't have anybody to play with, you go sit on the bench. And then other kids are encouraged to come over and ask you to join or to sit with you or to talk with you. And, you kind of make friends, and nobody has to be lonely. You
Right.
go there and everybody knows, hey, that kid needs a little help. And it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the idea.
Yeah. And I think, there's, I always believe that we go in the direction of what's healthy and makes us happy. The only reason when we don't do that is when we don't know what it is, or we get confused about other information that we've been exposed to. So it's like exposing these kids at a young age of what it feels like to, because when kids are young, they just do this kind of automatically, but to put the spotlight on it, and go, hey, when somebody's sitting there, that means they need somebody to play with. And role playing, getting them to do it, really getting their brains to wrap around the idea of what they're doing and how important it is. And they feel good. So they actually feel good when if you do that for somebody, you're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to get a positive feedback within yourself, and that kid's going to feel good too. And who knows, you might be, very tight friends. But the point is as you get older, when you're kind of exposed to when kids start getting cliquey later in life and stuff like that, and where the real problems start, or the big, it can be real problems at any age, but sometimes some of the bigger problems start, you're going to have a whole group of kids that have been exposed to this type of thing. And we don't need every single child in the world doing it, but if we have a majority that have been exposed to something like this and understand that it makes them feel good, that's, that could, it's one of the things that I think can help us like I said, when kids get older and the issue of the school shootings in the news all over the place and stuff, this type of thing, teaching kids to connect with one another, I think is a really step forward in helping that. So yeah, it's a great story. And I think in the surface, it's one of those stories that I looked at and I was like, oh, that's nice. Then I started really thinking about it, and it's like, wow, that could really have a profound effect on a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Definitely. And our last story for today is from a favorite of mine. I'll be honest. The rock band Phish had a really nice write-up article written from liveforlivemusic.com about 3 different stories about their sound check on New Year's Eve at Madison Square Garden. They had some awesome stories. There was an autistic fan whose friend who works with him for the last 8 years got him to come see the show, and during the sound check he actually went up on stage, and the drummer John Fishman gave him a lesson on how to use the marimba, and it's just a really sweet story. And her whole his friend who is a helper, tells the whole story in the article. And there's a 25-year-old girl who's a up and coming musician who got to sit in and play with them for their sound check, which is awesome. And then another story, which is their community of fans are very diehard. It's a group that they don't get a lot of radio time and airplay and stuff. It's just mostly people coming to live shows and like trading tapes and stuff.
Yeah.
So the guitarist's daughter went to a Facebook group of Phish fans and got a collection of stories and pictures of how people have come together and like found their husbands and wives and had children and stuff because of the band. And they put together a book and gave it to him for Christmas. And then he, sent a big thank you and talked about how they all cried and stuff.
Yeah.
So just like 3 really uplifting stories in one article about this band that, does a lot of good.
Yeah. And that's, I think this is really a good example of how we don't always slow down enough to really understand what's important and how important these stories are, because it's true. It's like, it's all about connection. These people are connecting at Phish concerts and forming friendships and bonds and marriages and all this stuff. And there's some guy playing on stage just doing what he loves, and he's not understanding the effect that what he's putting out, because it's an authentic version of himself. It's his art. What that vibration that's going out, what that's doing, it's bringing people together, and it's allowing them to connect. And that's a beautiful thing, and I mean, the daughter to to have this idea and make a book out of it is phenomenal. And then a musician that gets to get up on stage in New York and with her favorite band and do that. That's like, that's life altering. That can completely change the trajectory of her course, and then the autistic kid that gets up there with his, playing the drum. I mean, this is stuff that will literally change people, not only their lives, but the people around them who are exposed to the story. It mushrooms outward, and it's just a beautiful thing. And that's what I think that that's the real big concept, I think, for today. Is it's not about a story. It's about what the story represents and what it actually does if we pay attention and follow it. It's really profound. So putting out good just breeds more good.
Definitely. What's right with your world this week, Glenn?
There's a lot good with my world this week. I'm kind of, it's kind of an overall thing. I guess I'm in that theme today of overall, but I have to, some things kind of came together where my son has wanted a tattoo for years. So for Christmas, he was going to turn 18 in a couple weeks. So for Christmas, I wanted to support him in that. And so he got his first tattoo. So then that kind of sparked mine. I've had some for many, many years that have faded and don't really represent what they used to. So I went and sat in a chair for a long time yesterday, and I'm not going to really show anybody because it's only halfway done. But yeah, so I spent my day yesterday sitting on my butt, getting some work done that is going to kind of have some meaning to me and the life that I live. So that's something special that doesn't happen every day. So I'll put a spotlight on that. I'm very grateful and thankful that I was able to have that done.
That's awesome.
How about you, Ben?
I would say me. Like what's right in my world this week is me, which is a difficult thing to say. So
yeah. So congrats on that.
Thanks, man. No, I've been doing well, hitting goals and targets, and doing things and following the routines I wanted to do and stuff like that. So it's been good and encouraging and a good first week of the new year.
Yeah, I think that's such a good example of not thinking yourself into better acting, but acting yourself into better thinking. You were just like, I'm gonna set up a routine, I'm gonna have it structured, know what I got to do and when I got to do it, and I'm just gonna start doing that. And as you start doing that, all of a sudden, it's only been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
1 week?
Yeah, a little more. Yeah.
So, and you're sitting here on a podcast going, what's right in my world is me. You're not going, what's right in my world is that I accomplished more crap. But that's what the cool thing about it is, if you bring a little structure into your world and you just start chipping away at stuff, all of a sudden you start feeling better about yourself. And it's like, wow, and the hope rises, and it's exciting. So congrats on that.
Thanks, man. I really encourage everybody to go back and listen to the Life Lessons in Laughter episode, 3 Steps to Implementing Lasting Change, that we did. It was one of the, like 2 episodes ago. I really encourage everybody to go. That was a good episode for me.
Yeah, very action oriented.
Yeah. So that's it. If you like this show, leave a 5-star review on iTunes or wherever you listen to it, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. That really helps. If you want video versions of the show, check out patreon.com. I'm sorry. I was thinking about we have a lot of YouTube stuff coming up soon.
Yeah.
So check out the Glenn Ambrose YouTube channel. 2019 is going to be a big year for new content for you.
Yes, it is.
So
it's new content, new everything. It's just perfect. It's like I talked about before in Life Lessons and Laughter. It kind of had to purge and release some of the stuff from the last 6 years to open up to all the wonderful things that are coming from this point forward in the business, and it's exciting.
All right, well, that's it for this, and yeah,
we'll talk with you soon. Later.